Alright, let me be straight with you. A brand new 2024 Toyota Camry LE stickers at around 27 grand at the dealership. Sounds reasonable, right? But here's the number your salesperson will never write on that whiteboard. After 5 years, once you stack up the purchase price, gas, maintenance, insurance, and the chunk of value that bleeds out of the car every single year, you've quietly spent somewhere around $50,000 on that thing. $50,000. And the whole time, there are at least 10 other cars sitting out. They're right now used cars, pre-owned, whatever you want to call them, that if you run the math the right way, the real cost of owning them for 5 years actually comes out lower than that number. Not because they're cheap or disposable, but because they were built differently or because the first owner already absorbed the most expensive part of owning them, so you don't have to. That's exactly what we're getting into today. We're not talking about sticker price. We're not talking about monthly payments. We're talking about the total cost of ownership. Every dollar that leaves your wallet from the day you buy it to the day you sell it. That's the only number that actually matters. And once you see it laid out this way, you're never going to look at a new car the same way again. Before we get into the list, let me tell you 2 things. Number 1 on this list is going to surprise almost nobody. But stick around, because the cars in the middle, number 6, 5, 4, those are the ones that most people completely overlook. And those are honestly where the best value is hiding right now. And number 2, every single car on this list is going to be measured the exact same way. Not by sticker price, not by how it looks on a lease sheet, by total cost of ownership over 5 years, purchase price, fuel, maintenance, insurance, and depreciation. All of it added up compared directly to that brand new Camry sitting on the lot. That is the only fair fight. So let's talk about that Camry number for a second, because this is the foundation of everything. A new 2024 Toyota Camry LE runs about $27,000 out the door. Over 5 years, the average driver puts on about 75,000 miles. During that time, you're losing roughly $15,000 in depreciation alone. That's what the car is worth on paper, dropping year after year. Add in fuel at current prices, routine maintenance, and a reasonable insurance estimate, and independent ownership studies put the 5-year total cost of owning a new Camry somewhere between $47,000 and $52,000. That is the number we are beating today. Every car on this list comes in under that threshold when you run the full math. Some of them aren't even close. Number 10, Honda Fit, 2015 through 2020. Mechanics call this thing the starter car. They never get tired of working on. The 1.5-liter engine inside the Fit is so straightforward, so well documented, that any shop in the country can service it without ever needing to look anything up. Average annual maintenance cost, according to RepairPal, sits around $200 a year. You can pick up a clean used Fit in this generation for around $11,000 to $13,000 right now. Run that out over 5 years. Purchase, fuel, maintenance, insurance, depreciation on a car that already depreciated most of the way down, and you're looking at a total cost somewhere in the low 30s. That is nearly $20,000 less than that new Camry. The Fit is not exciting. It is not trying to be. It is the financial equivalent of bringing a calculator to a car dealership. Number 9, Toyota Corolla, 2014 through 2019. Here's a question worth asking out loud. If Toyota builds both the Corolla and the Camry, and both of them use the same engineering philosophy, the same reliability standards, the highest quality control, the same long-term durability, what exactly are you paying the extra money for when you buy the Camry new? The answer is mostly size and perception. The Corolla in this generation runs the 2-liter 4-cylinder that Toyota has refined to the point of boredom, which in the reliability world is the highest possible compliment. Annual maintenance averages around $220. A used example in good shape runs $12,000 to $15,000. 5-year total cost of ownership lands around $32,000 to $35,000, depending on your insurance market. You are looking at a gap of roughly $15,000 compared to the new Camry. Same brand, same philosophy. Very different bill at the end of 5 years. Number 8, Mazda 3, 2014 through 2018. Mazda made a decision with this generation that a lot of manufacturers were too scared to make. No CVT transmission, no turbocharged engine with an intercooler. That needs babying. Just a naturally aspirated Skyactiv 2.0 or 2.5-liter engine, bolted to a conventional 6-speed automatic. That one decision separates the Mazda 3 from a long list of competitors. When it comes to long-term ownership costs, CVT repairs can run anywhere from $3,000 to $8,000 when they go wrong. The Mazda skips that risk entirely. Interior quality in this generation consistently gets compared to cars costing $10,000 more. Maintenance costs average around $310 a year. Pick one up for $13,000 to $16,000 used. Run the 5-year math, and you land somewhere around $34,000 to $37,000 total. Still well under the Camry threshold. And you get a car that actually feels good to drive every single day. Number 7. Honda Accord, 2013 through 2017. Pay attention to the specific years here, because this matters. Honda made a significant change with the 2018 Accord. They moved to a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder as the main powertrain. The Turbo Accord is fine, but the last generation of the naturally aspirated Accord, the 2.4-liter 4-cylinder or the 3.5-liter V6, represents something that doesn't exist much anymore in new cars. A large, comfortable, genuinely spacious sedan with zero forced induction complexity. The 2.4-liter engine in this generation is a close cousin to the engine in the Civic. Proven, simple, cheap to feed. A clean example in this range goes for $14,000 to $17,000. 5-year total ownership cost comes in around $36,000 to $39,000. The Accord in these years is also one of the better-built interiors Honda has produced in the past 20 years. Materials hold up. Nothing rattles. You get a lot of car for the money. Number 6. Hyundai Sonata, 2015 through 2019. 2.4-liter only. This is the one where I need you to read carefully, because there is a version of this car you want, and a version of this car you absolutely do not want. The 2.4-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder Sonata in this generation is a genuinely solid, undervalued used car. Hyundai ironed out most of the reliability issues that plagued earlier models. The powertrain warranty on these, 100,000 miles for the original owner, still covers many of the used examples you'll find on the market today, which is not something you can say about most 10-year-old cars. Average annual maintenance runs around $350. Clean used examples sell for $10,000 to $14,000. 5-year ownership cost sits in the $33,000 to $37,000 range. Now here is the car you do not want, the 2.0 turbocharged version of the same Sonata. That engine had documented issues with Theta 2 engine failures. Avoid it completely. The 2.4 is the car. The 2.0 turbo is the problem. Know the difference before you buy. Number 5. Subaru Impreza, 2017 through 2021. Not the WRX, not the Outback. The regular Impreza. And before anyone closes the video, because they think a Subaru has no business. Being on a low-cost list, the older head gasket problems that gave Subaru its reputation were specific to earlier boxer engines in earlier generations. Subaru addressed those issues starting in the 2014 redesign cycle. The 2017 and later Impreza runs a revised 2-liter boxer 4-cylinder that has a genuinely clean reliability track record. Here is where the Impreza makes its argument. All-wheel drive is standard on every single trim level. A new Toyota Camry is front-wheel drive only. There is no all-wheel drive option on the standard Camry. If you live anywhere with real winters, you are either buying winter tires for your Camry or you are driving on faith. The Impreza gives you all-wheel drive traction as the base configuration. Buy one used for $14,000 to $17,000. 5-year total ownership cost lands around $36,000 to $40,000. For buyers in cold weather states, this is not even a close comparison. Number 4. Toyota Prius, 2016 through 2022. This is where the numbers start doing things that genuinely surprise people. The Prius gets dismissed constantly as a car for people who don't like driving. Set that aside for a minute and look at what it actually costs to own one. The hybrid system in this generation uses Toyota's 4th-generation powertrain, the same basic architecture that Toyota has been refining since the original Prius launched over 25 years ago. The electric motor handles low-speed driving. The gas engine handles highway loads. They share the work in a way that keeps neither one of them under heavy stress. Brake pads on a Prius can last over 100,000 miles because regenerative braking handles most of the deceleration work before the physical pads ever engage. Fuel costs over 5 years, compared to a Camry, represent a difference of $6,000 to $8,000. at current gas prices just on fuel alone. That is before you factor in anything else. Buy a used Prius in this generation for $15,000 to $19,000. Run every cost out over 5 years and you are looking at total ownership in the low to mid-30s. The gap versus a new Camry is one of the widest on this entire list. Number 3. Lexus ES, 2013 through 2018. This is the entry on the list that makes people stop and reconsider everything they thought they knew about luxury cars. The Lexus ES in this generation carries a price tag on the used market of $18,000 to $23,000. Depending on mileage and trim, that sounds like it should cost more to own than a Camry. It does not. Here is why. The ES in these years runs the 3.5-liter V6 that Toyota and Lexus share across multiple platforms. The same family of engine that has been stress-tested across millions of vehicles over decades. Annual maintenance on an ES of this generation averages around $500 a year, which is only marginally higher than the Camry and significantly lower than any European luxury car. In the same price bracket, the interior materials in an ES hold up in ways that most mainstream cars cannot match. The cabin is quieter, the ride is more refined, and because these cars depreciated so heavily in their first 3 years under the original owners, the buyer coming in at year 4 or 5 absorbs almost none of that loss. 5-year total ownership cost for a used ES in this range runs between $38,000 and $42,000. You are getting a genuinely luxurious ownership experience for less money than a plain new Camry. Number 2. Honda Civic, 2016 through 2021. The numbers on this car are almost embarrassing. For everything else on this list, RepairPal puts the average annual maintenance cost, especially for a Civic in this generation, at $233 per year. Not $233 per visit. Yes, that is $233 per year. The 1.5-liter turbocharged engine in the later models of this generation and the 2-liter naturally aspirated in the base trim have both accumulated enough real-world mileage data at this point to know they are not going to surprise you. This is the best-selling car in America, and it has been for multiple years running. Parts are everywhere. Labor is cheap because every technician has worked on 50 of them. You can buy one used in this generation for $15,000 to $18,000. Run the complete 5-year cost of ownership, and you will land somewhere around the amazing total of $30,000 to $34,000 total. That is a gap of $15,000 to $20,000. Compared to the new Camry, the Civic is not a compromise. It truly is the mathematically correct answer to the question of what a daily driver it should actually cost to own and drive. Number 1. Toyota Camry 2017 through 2020 bought used. Nobody is surprised. And honestly, the fact that nobody is surprised is exactly the point. The best car to beat the cost of owning a new Camry is the Camry itself, just not the new one. A 2018 or 2019 Camry with the 2.5-liter Dynamic Force 4-cylinder, the engine Toyota redesigned from the ground up for this generation, represents one of the cleanest used car values available in the current market. The original owner bought it new, paid full sticker price, and absorbed the steepest part of the depreciation curve in years 1 through 3. You step in at year 4 or 5, pay $19,000 to $22,000, and get a car that has already proven itself over 60 to 80,000 miles. The powertrain is the same one Toyota will continue building for years. Parts are as available as parts get. Any shop can service it. Annual maintenance costs are identical to the new version because it is the same mechanical platform. Run the 5-year total cost of ownership from your purchase point, and you come in somewhere between $38,000 and $42,000. Still under the new car threshold, but now you are driving the exact same car that new buyers are paying $50,000 total to own. The difference is timing and patience. Honorable mention, Mazda CX-30, 2020 through 2022. This one did not make the main list because it is technically a small SUV and we were running sedan comparisons. But it deserves to be mentioned because the argument it makes is compelling. No CVT, no mandatory turbocharger in the base configuration. Mazda's Skyactiv G 2.5 naturally aspirated engine is the same philosophy they applied to the Mazda 3. Simple, proven, no exotic failure points. The interior quality in a CX-30 consistently gets compared to vehicles because the argument it makes is compelling, costing $15,000 more. If you need the extra ground clearance and cargo space that a sedan cannot offer, and you want to stay under the total cost of ownership of a new Camry, the CX-30, used in this window is the answer. Pick one up for $17,000 to $20,000. Keep up with basic maintenance, and the 5-year cost lands right at the edge of our threshold. Sometimes under it, depending on your insurance zip code. Here is the only thing that matters coming out of this video. The sticker price is not the price. The monthly payment is not the price. The price is every dollar you spend from the day you sign to the day you sell, fuel, maintenance, insurance, and the value that quietly disappears every year whether you drive it or not. Run that number before you walk into any dealership. The cars on this list are not compromises. They are not consolation prizes for people who cannot afford something better. They are the result of doing the math correctly, which most buyers never do. Buy smart, stay on top of your maintenance schedule, and the right used car will save you more money over 5 years than most people earn in 4 months. If this breakdown helped you think about it differently, hit the like button and subscribe. We put out videos like this every week. See you in the next one.